Sick. So what happens if we try to argue over each other?
Okay, let's share the screen.
It's whoever is arguing loudest gets the camera spot.
I'm
Yeah, I
going
think
to the
Dennis is gonna
conference room.
win.
I can't hear you.
Okay, come to the conference room, Sophie.
Hey guys, Sophie's gone.
No, it's Raymond.
Oh wait, Raymond's gone too.
Okay, let me.
Leo, where are you?
I'm here. I'm trying to share the screen.
Oh, you're on.
Does this mean we can work remotely now?
I hope so. I'm not sure. Akira dash here.
Oh, this is slow.
Oh Jesus.
You can do projection.
No, but I
Alright.
want Eugenio. My concern is Eugenio. I don't want him to.
Left out.
Yeah.
But if you want to share screen, we can't see your screen.
Whoa, infinite. It keeps going and going and going.
Okay. It seems like almost everyone left it.
Almost two's left.
Okay, let's
Just you.
see. I'm going to stop it.
No, because we're too close.
I know. It doesn't.
Wait.
I think you should just add Eugenio by himself.
Yeah, that's my plan.
Okay. Everyone else, I think, can just come here.
Entire screen. I want. How can I share? I want to share.
What about this screen? How do we turn the projector?
Share.
That looks like a monster. Like a children's story monster.
I know. Different color though.
Yeah. Oh, you know that one? Huh?
Yeah, I see the ones.
Yeah, it's a brown color.
Mm.
Forgot the name.
Nice.
I got a purple one, I got a pink one, I got a white one.
Okay.
Oh, that's a pink one?
There we go.
That's nice.
I like how we all sit next to each other.
Yeah.
We're
So we can hear.
Oh, we can do the hangouts right here. I'll bring out my laptop.
Oh man, it changes to your face when I look at you.
Yeah.
Wow,
Why
what
don't
kind
you
of super technology is this?
Why don't you just do it with Google Glasses and show from your point of view?
But Google Glass is done, right? There's no more, huh?
I don't know. Well,
they're
Microsoft is coming out with something.
they're going to create a new one.
They're
Like the
gonna
next
create
version.
the fake eyeballs.
Fake eyeball.
Sophie.
Contact lens.
No,
Yeah.
Sophie. Okay, we'll let you know when it's your turn to speak.
Is Eugenio in there or what?
I don't know. Euge, I think someone called him from his other work, which is inconvenient. Euge,
Okay.
Oh, no.
just wait a little bit to see. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to start talking a little bit about the architecture of ColdView. I have a couple of items that I would like to cover.
Are we talking about?
Yeah, I'll wait for you. Sorry, okay.
You have?
I'm going to do like a little dance so you don't get bored.
You should look up pronunciation manual on YouTube.
Uh-huh.
It's hilarious. It's a guy just mispronounced. No,
Okay.
it's hilarious.
Okay. I have a couple of items that I want to discuss. One is our CSS structure, and the other one is the feeds project. I think the feeds project is a way bigger endeavor, so I am going to skip that one for now, and we're going to leave it for the next iteration. Now, our CSS is a mess. And what we are having issues with in the project that we don't have a way to share this. I don't know how we're going to do it.
Projection.
Yeah, but I think I don't have a way to project this machine.
I have to use that one.
We can bring our laptops in and just
Okay.
view.
Let
We're
me.
just gonna move our seats on the other side.
Yeah, let me move here. I'm going to move right next to Dennis. Ooh. Yeah. Shit, I hope I didn't do something.
That's how you have the protector on.
Yeah.
Oh, you have a face right up in there.
Dennis is always sleeping in these meetings.
Allergy.
That's why I said get coffee. It's allergy.
Jesus.
It's allergy.
Okay.
It's drowsy.
Okay.
Sophie's face.
Okay. My main concern with this is how are we going to start sharing our CSS between these three applications or any application that we end up creating for a suite of tools. If we move from CallView 360 to Rapid Recall, it is first one of the problems that we are facing. It's exactly what affects it. Is right now that delay that you guys saw is because when the application goes to sleep, and that happens just by nature of ASP.NET, it has to go and recompile all the CSS. So that, like right now, I don't know if you noticed, it's a little bit faster. Still not as fast as we would like to, but it takes a little bit of time to recompile all the list files and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So one of those, the first change that I would like to do is I think that our CSS should be static. So basically, we are going to, instead of using the bundles, instead of using the bundles that we have here on the App Store, and the reason why we're using the bundles is because we were trying to find something that was better than the previous tool that I don't even remember the name. It was something Compress. So basically, instead of doing it programmatically, like here, it was a system that required us to have a gigantic XML besides the configuration. So we changed to this model, but it's still not ideal. Another reason or another source of bugs from the previous iteration is that the way that it was designed, it was affecting a lot and the solution that we know as white label, which is basically just changing colors and images in the application. So let's see if that's Eugenio.
Yes, that's me.
Oh, hi, Eugenio.
Hi, how are you?
So Eugenio, the first part, because we are recording this, you're going to be able to go and check back the first part of the meeting. So that's one of the advantages of using this new thing. Okay. Now.
So even though I had a question, so even though it's bundled, if we had like a server that just like a CDN, wouldn't it just go and grab it from the CDN, all the the files, all the static files?
But we will need to generate them statically first.
Yeah.
So what we are going to do is, or one of my suggestions is to start using tools, and even the ASP.NET team is moving towards this. Is basically instead of using something that is going to compile it in runtime, like here. Like here. What we are going to be using is a generation tool like Grunt or Gulp. Gulp.js is basically, those are tools that are attached to Node.js. Node.js is basically just JavaScript running on the server side. It's more than that. but basically it's a prepackaging of the V8 engine. I'm just some of you guys already know, but I'm just saying so that everyone is aware.
Leo,
Sorry.
sorry. Can you share your screen instead of waving your hand?
Yeah, we
Our
have.
faces.
Yep. Because I can see your face. Yep.
Not that useful.
Oh shoot. What about now?
I see your eye.
And what do you see? Infinity now?
Ooh, infinity! Yep.
Okay.
There. Thank you.
Okay. Well, one of the main reasons why we want to change this, centralized configuration files are held for distributed development because it's just like an endless source of merge conflicts. So where do we see this behavior? Here on the previous Conres XML, on the new configuration file that we have on Angular. Like our goal is to start dividing those, and basically if we need configuration, the tool that is docking or the interface that is being implemented is where we put the local specific configuration. In this case, you know what? I'm not going to go deep into that, but there are better ways than just centralizing everything here. Another thing that we have is that we are using mostly the Minify files, and we don't have the source maps. So basically, some of these, we started adding them after the fact, and what we're doing is, because we're using these minifiers, we're trying to minify the minification.
How do we edit it? If we don't have the source map.
Sorry?
How do we edit? Like if we want to look at the actual source of those.
The source map gives you basically the mapping that's what the source map is. You have the Minify file, you have the source map, so the browser can re-render the original code.
Okay.
Okay.
So we don't want to use the Minify files here. We want more.
Most of the time, yes. The reason is basically that we are just trying to minify what it's already minified. But I don't want to. This is for these contexts that we're using the bundles from ASP.NET. Where we want to go is again. What's before we were complaining about our faces. Node.js is a platform that that runs on JavaScript. It was created by a guy that said like, oh, I'm just going to grab this amazing runtime for the browser that was created at V8, and I'm just going to start exposing certain APIs based on this engine, and that's what Node.js is. Like, I'm going to create an API to do HTTP. I'm going to create an API to do regular sockets, etc., etc. From there, the Node community they started creating a bunch of tools. It's one of the most prolific open source projects out there. Like, basically there's this thing called the Atwood law, where basically everything that is already implemented in another language eventually is going to be transformed to JavaScript.
Oh.
So actually, I've seen Windows 3.1.1 running on JavaScript. So it is that hardcore. So going back to Gulp and GrunJS, these are just basically tools that allow you to run JavaScript as a tool chain. Imagine like as PowerShell or as the command line. So you use JavaScript in your command line. That's not the only way to do it. I'm just for completeness, there was CScript that allowed you to run a weird version of JScript, which was Microsoft's first attempt to do JavaScript on the server, but just for completeness.
Okay.
So, what do Gulp and Grunt do? Let me go there. These are build systems. Do you guys know what MS Build is? Where's Raymond? Okay. Okay. Do you guys know what MS Build is?
It's the engine that's used in Visual Studio.
Correct. That is now used on Visual Studio to basically execute all the build commands, like and we're going to execute the compiler, and we're going to execute and then if there are any other steps in our build process, as complex as they are, we can express them in a hell of a language that is called MS Build, which is like XML based. Horrible. Gulp is the exact same thing, but in JavaScript. It's the newest one. The first tool that came out was just like a tiny wrapper of tasks that was called Grunt. That guy started growing and growing and growing, and now it's a gigantic tool. But we also have Gulp. What do we get with these two tools? We get minification. We get transpilation. Do you guys know what transpilation is? Transpilation is transforming scripts or variants of JavaScript into native JavaScript, into a JavaScript that the browsers understand. For example, CoffeeScript. Have you guys heard about CoffeeScript? Another example would be TypeScript. TypeScript was developed by the same guys that developed C#. So what we want to do is, I just want to reduce the scope of these tools, and we're going to start using Gulp for CSS for now. For CSS and less. And what is less, for those guys or for the that are not familiar with it, is basically just an extension to CSS that allows us to express CSS rules more succinctly, or in a smaller, like a smaller or shorter version.
Succinctly.
Succinctly. Thank you so much. Okay, let me go back to Gulp. If you guys go here to plugins, there's going to be an infinity of plugins. You like 1207 plugins. So the ones that we're going to use, I don't know which ones we're going to be using yet. We first need to restructure CSS so that when we build in MS Build, we're going to add a Gulp task, or there's a task runner that is going to, that is an add-on for Visual Studio that is going to basically run all these Gulp tasks that are going to transpile our less files into CSS. Transpile applies for both CSS, anything that converts from one language to another. From less to CSS, and for the minification of JavaScript. With that, I think we're going to achieve a little bit of, first we're going to simplify our CSS, and our goal would be to basically share the same styles. I'm going to show you like a very minimal detail that most people don't pay attention to, but it makes everything more complex. We just re-implemented Rapid Recall, but pay attention where these plus signs are.
Plus signs?
They're on the right, and we are using different styles for the exact same kind of filter. So basically, we are using two different styles, and we are repeating ourselves, and we are basically just like redoing a lot of code. This page has its own defined set of rules that basically, when the original intention was to reuse as much of the styles.
Usually they have a base CSS that, all the other CSS.
Oh, we do have a base CSS too, but the problem
is overridden after
exactly.
Well,
So
everything is
the problem is
overridden.
that we have two copies of base CSS, and we have two copies of control .less.
we should have our UX person, read. Oh, we don't have a UX person.
Exactly. So what we are going to do is we are going to have to select someone to do that. I'm
be the
still,
expert.
I'm still thinking how we are going to approach that. I think it should be really because we don't have one, and I still think that we should.
Or train someone.
No, and I think that all of us should learn. In my opinion, that's the way that most people are going to grow more organically. We have to make a decision. We either create experts on a specific system, or we either create people that can just like work with, I don't know, a normalized set of skills across all of our systems. I think that we should do the latter. And all the other stuff is just like domain knowledge. So that also takes responsibility because it's a shared concern in the CSS files. I think that we should start taking a different approach. For that, I've been researching Nile style sheets, KSS. Actually, I'm just going to go to GitHub. So basically, GitHub created something very similar, where they specify how they're going to be structuring their CSS rules. And what they have is some examples. They use different CSS preprocessor. It's called Sass. It's older than Less. Both of them are very similar. Sass is a little bit more powerful, but Less is a little bit simpler. And that's why we picked it. So basically here you see, okay, we're going to use this class and it's going to be applied to this heading and how it affects it. Kind of like the way that it's done on Bootstrap. So I think that we should have this so that we don't have to rethink, oh, I need a button. How am I going to express this button? Oh, I have a button that it's active. I have a button that is a primary button. I have a button. I think that we should just start slicing and dicing our style so we can keep it consistent. Ideally, my dream is that we're going to be using a different or a standard CSS framework like Bootstrap, and we just adapt it. That would make our design way faster. It's going to be way easier for us also to keep with the times, because we're going to be piggybacking on people that are way better at CSS than us.
Are we using Bootstrap right now?
We're using Bootstrap, but for internal tools.
Oh.
I would love to eventually port everything to.
I feel like even though if we use Bootstrap, like certain times we can't get it to look just the way we want, and people are gonna just like override, and then it starts deviating again.
Because we're using a lot of Kendo stuff too, and Kendo stuff.
And then you override like, oh, this is not doing what I want. Okay, override. Now it's like.
But
no.
Kendo does have a Bootstrap loop.
Yeah.
It is.
Like this stuff right there is all Kendo stuff.
Yeah. But still, like that's why you have a base CSS, and then you start doing overriding in the same way. Like we don't have to go very far. If we just look here, you see how they structure it. So they have the components, globals, plugins. Not like the way that we have it, where we have like, I don't know. We even have some CSSs that are from jQuery UI that were modified. Like the file was modified.
Oh.
So we cannot go back and update it or just get the latest fixes from them because we fucking modify the file.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question? Is there any requirements coming or request to make our website work on mobile devices? No. The reality is that people would like that, but we're not in a position that we can do it.
In order to do that, basically what we need to do is, the way that you design mobile is that you start mobile first. Why? Because it's your most constrained device. So you start putting in one screen the most important information that you need to see. As you go move forward to bigger devices, all the way up to a high definition desktop, you start putting more detail.
Yeah, we're using opposite right now.
Exactly, because that's the way the application was designed. So I don't think that we should waste our effort. We should just like try to polish this application as much as possible and reorganize our CSS structure so that at some point in the future we can take that monumental task. Yeah, I have other concerns. I am concerned that we are using, but that's not entirely related to this. I'm concerned that we are using Knockout here with some JavaScript, that we are using plain JavaScript on Rapid Recall, and that we are using Angular Manager.
Yeah, mixed technology.
Yeah.
So,
Double A.
I'm sorry, Eugenio?
Level layers.
Yeah. So but it is what it is. People were at different levels of skills, but we are normalizing very fast. I think that, I don't know, when everyone is comfortable with Angular, we're going to stick with it. And then as time goes on, the cool thing about Angular, and one of the reasons why we picked Angular, is that it's not an all or nothing. We can start migrating little pieces. The first piece that I think that we should migrate is this part. And then we start migrating as we start retouching. We're going to need a UI lift. I don't know, like in 2 years or something. So that's when. But before doing that, we have to go and create an API for everything. We need an API to retrieve the calls. We need an API
So we already have APIs?
to execute search. The only structured API that we have is the one for Rapid Recall.
Right. It's called user and a whole bunch of.
So the other one is just like basically there's a whole lot of mixture. If we wanted to create a mobile app for Rapid Recall, it would be relatively easy because our API is already exposed. So we don't have to rethink that. We use the API, and it's going to work on the back end because it's working right now. So that's why we want to do it. I think we discussed this way back.
CallView is not working on API.
No, CallView is basically just an MVC application.
It's making AJAX calls to.
It's making AJAX calls, but when we say that it's not, it is using AJAX calls, but the view models have logic in them.
Oh, okay, got it.
So that's what we're going to try to, what we need to decouple. Okay. So what is the challenge that I'm facing right now? Acura is going to live here.
Gonna live or leave?
In 2 years.
Live. Sorry.
In
It's
2 years.
leaving.
Oh.
Just to be sure.
Yeah. So Acrobat's gonna disappear and be integrated into other things. Yes.
No, Acura is going to live, and I'm going to try to respect as much as possible the current UI that we have. I'm not going to make any attempt to make it mobile ready because this version doesn't support it. It doesn't make sense. I think that it would be a much better approach if we just define a very nice UI for this that works on desktop, that works on the day-to-day work, and because it's going to be API-based, we just do a native application for Acura. Acura is one application that would be suitable for mobile if we wanted to just like market it. I think that there's other places where we can spend our efforts before mobile first. Anyway, so I think that the first thing that we should do as a team is try to just standardize CSS, follow the Nile style guide. Sorry. Yes, I will. No, not that guy. Nile style shapes. It's just a documentation system. And what's the beauty of this documentation system is that basically, because it lives right there, right next to the code. Because it lives right next to the code, and we are going to be using a generator. It's going to be generating the web page for the style guide on every build. So we're going to create just like an open. We're going to go to, I don't know, apps.alejandro.com/style guide. And we're going to be able to see like, oh, I need a button. I just need to copy it here, like the exact same way that we do with Bootstrap. So we should strive to move towards that, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was really easy. For example, like today, yesterday when I did the export dropdown in the management, like all I just went to another dropdown and then Ning already did with Bootstrap and just copied all the HTML and just pasted it.
Yeah. When you have the structure of a visual element that you already have, it's very easy to construct UIs. What other technologies are there? I need to mention other technologies that are there right now that we can that could be used to build interfaces. There's Angular. Angular is by far the at least in Google Trends. If you guys compare Angular with any other option that I'm going to mention, it's overwhelming. Like it's in a completely different magnitude of search. That means that there's more documentation. There's also more bullshit. Like you're going to find a lot of stuff that is not going that is going to be old, that is not going to be up to date. But it translates into community. So almost everything that you guys want to execute is going to be done already in Angular. There are other efforts, like the competitors are Flux plus React. Those are two projects. Flux is basically just a philosophy of designing applications that was created on Facebook. It's supposed to be cleaner and easier than Angular, but it's an environmental model that we will have to go through already. And we are already a little bit invested in Angular. I just want to standardize in something.
Yeah. We want to diversify even more.
So everything Angular is if possible.
So we're already used to MVC.
Yeah. There's there are others that have just come out. Like the equivalent to Angular would be Durandal. It's another framework. There's an iteration of Durandal that was created. First it came Durandal, then Angular, and then the guy that created Durandal came out with and then worked for the team at Angular, and just created a new one that is called Aurelia. But I'm just mentioning all the possibilities that are out there. Like we have evaluated them. Like right now, I think that the best solution for us is just like make our lives easier, just to become really good at Angular.
Angular is just popular and it's standardized. A lot of companies use it.
So, I don't have the exact path on how we're going to restructure all of this. I think we're going to separate. The only section that we are going to separate is like the management part, because that's done in Angular and Bootstrap mostly. But everything else, we're going to start reorganizing it. For instance, I know for a fact that we are not using foundation icons. So there's a bunch of stuff here that is just like crap that was added.
So you just want to go in and start cleaning.
Yeah, we need to go and start cleaning little by little. I want to take out this white label folder there because that's user-generated content. Right now, I'm just like keeping it because we have created every single white label that is up there. But it should really live on a different location. It shouldn't live right next to the code. So it's basically like the data in the database.
You want to remove the minify first.
Yeah. Actually, no, I don't want to remove the menu. I don't want to change what's working right now. What I want to do is I want to start, basically, first we need to analyze what are the components that are common. What are the components that we can make common, like here.
The plus signs.
Exactly. I need to make sure that the CSS that is rendering this is the exact same CSS that is rendering on CallView. That way we're going to basically, we have done a lot of work already. Like when you came in, you did a little bit of work related to that. Bob was working a little bit on that, but there's still a lot.
And Leo, that will apply also for the new alerts UI we were talking, right?
Of course.
Because we are now creating reports from here, but those reports could be also scheduled with that scheduler, so that could be also plugged in here.
Correct, but we need to first standardize and then start taking those approaches. That's why I want you to focus on Hamfire right now. Hamfire is instead of having an external Windows service on top shelf for reports right now. I'm trying to, or I asked Eugenio to evaluate how difficult would it change to the current code that is processing in external service through Hamfire. Hamfire, what it's going to give us is kind of like Elma /Hamfire, and we're going to be able to see in our local machines when files are being exported in a little queue. And we're going to be able to test that way more easily. So I just asked him to evaluate that. It's his decision at the end, but I am strongly recommending to move towards that so we can just like all test alerts. Okay, the next step would be yes. At some point, well, as soon as we have that, I think I need to do that or define that for Acura, so that we start working on that in parallel while I am working on Acura design, so that should be more or less stable for when Acura design is done. When the Acura design is done, and we start building the following tab, which is going to be Acura. So we can start reusing the same view elements without having to go through the struggle of how does it look here? How do we re-implement this here? I think one of the changes that I'm planning to do is basically, in order to not change or not having to rewrite everything that is on the rapid recall in Angular, would be to just expose the routing profiles here. The routing profiles are basically programs that are run when a call comes in. So this is going to be the entry point for routing profiles. People are going to click here and they're going to go into the designer mode phase. I think that assigning and unassigning routing profiles can work in a very similar way as edit tags is working right now. it would be very, very efficient. It's a very efficient way to assign routing profiles. Let me see. Well, that's basically where we are going right now, and the efforts that I see on CallView. Next week, we're going to talk about the feeds project, and the week after that, we're going to start talking about how we're going to start implementing tests in our application. Okay?
Cool.
Thank you so much. Okay. Thank you.
Yep. Oh, thank you.
Question.
Sophie has a question, sorry.
You were mentioning routing profiles to display them on CallView eventually.
Uh-huh.
And for now, we only allow owner to see, to have.
There's going to be a permission system. Like I'm going to design all of that in.
Then
I'm trying to turn it off. I don't know how to do it. Oh, wait.
Do it.
Exit, yeah.
Oh wow, we had another Dennis. The papers. Okay, thank you so much. Ciao.
Thank you.
thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
The style guide that you said, is this just for like structuring the file system, or is this like a style guide for like how to put together a style guide